For most couples, love is built through quiet moments, morning coffees, long walks, shared secrets whispered before bed. But for Shekinah and Sarper, their love story has always been a little louder, a little brighter, and a whole lot more dramatic. After all, when you're married to a man who lives for the stage, laughter becomes the soundtrack of your everyday life. Sarper had been a lot of things in his life: fitness model, influencer, former bad boy, and occasional troublemaker. But now, he had discovered his newest obsession, stand-up comedy. And like every dream Sarper ever chased, he dove into it with the full intensity of someone who believed the world should pay attention. And right there beside him, no matter how chaotic or unpredictable each performance became, was his loyal wife, Shekinah, front row, glammed up, heart open, cheering louder than anyone else in the room. Because when Shekinah loved someone, she loved them big. The beginning of a new dream. It all started one random Tuesday morning. Sarper had woken up, stretched dramatically, and declared, "I think I want to make people laugh for a living." Shekinah blinked. "Like comedy?" "Yes, stand up," he said, already pacing the room as if he was preparing a Netflix special. "I have stories, I have charisma, and people already think I'm funny even when I'm not trying." Shekinah tried not to laugh, but a giggle escaped. "Sarper, baby, you are funny, but not always for the reasons you think." "Exactly," he said proudly, missing the teasing altogether. "That means I'm natural talent." The idea stuck faster than either of them expected. By lunchtime, he had bought a microphone for practicing at home. By dinner time, he had signed up for his first open mic night. And by midnight, he was in the living room testing jokes on Shekinah. Some were genuinely hilarious, some were confusing, some were about her, sweet, dramatic, and just the tiniest bit exaggerated. But through all of it, Shekinah felt her heart melt, because this was Sarper, passionate, determined, unapologetically himself. And if he wanted to stand on a stage and make people laugh, she'd be damned if he did it alone. The first comedy show the club was tiny, dim lights, scratched tables, and a stage barely big enough for two people to stand on. The air smelled like popcorn and nerves. Sarper wasn't scared. Shekinah was terrified for him. She sat in the front row, dressed like she was attending the Oscars, because to her, every moment of his life was worthy of glam. She wore a soft pink dress, a matching hat tipped just perfectly, and a glowing smile that made her stand out even in the dark. Sarper grabbed the mic and cleared his throat. "Good evening, my name is Sarper, and I'm here because my wife said therapy was expensive." The room laughed. Shekinah's heart soared. Every punchline, every story, every ridiculous impersonation, she watched him transform into something magical. When he stumbled on a joke, she smiled softly, giving him that reassuring nod he always needed. When he nailed a joke, she clapped louder than everyone. She wasn't just a fan, she was his anchor. After the show, Sarper rushed to her with childlike excitement. "Did you see them laugh? Did you hear it?" he asked, gripping her hands tightly. "I saw everything," she said proudly. "You were amazing." At that moment, he realized something. He might have gone on stage alone, but every laugh he earned was because she believed he could. Becoming a regular, weeks passed. Shows grew more frequent, crowds grew larger. Sarper's confidence soared with every performance, and in every single photo, every video clip, every backstage moment, there was Shekinah, glowing like the moon beside a star that refused to stop shining. She became iconic in her own right. Fans started to recognize her. "That's the comedy queen's wife," people whispered. "She's always here, front row. She's his lucky charm." Some even joked that the audience came to see both of them as Sarper on the stage. And Shekinah's reactions right below him. She dressed beautifully every night, a new hat, a new dress, a new touch of sparkle. The comedians started calling her First Lady of Laughter. But to Sarper, she was simply his reason. The joke that became a moment one night. In a packed urban comedy club, Sarper decided to try something new. He walked onto the stage, cleared his throat, and said, "I want to tell you all a secret. I married the most supportive woman in the world. She comes to every show I do. She laughs at all my jokes, even the bad ones. She gives me confidence even when my brain gives me none." Shekinah froze. This wasn't in his usual set. Sarper pointed at her. "There she is, my wife, my biggest fan, my favorite person in the room." The audience clapped. Shekinah's eyes glistened. Then he added with a grin, "And also the only person who's allowed to tell me when I need to rewrite my jokes." The room erupted in laughter. But for Shekinah, it was one of the sweetest moments of her life. Because sometimes love isn't roses or candlelit dinners. Sometimes it's being honored in front of strangers. Sometimes it's being appreciated in a moment filled with jokes. After the show, Sarper pulled her into a tight embrace. "You're the reason I can do this," he whispered. "You believed in me before I ever believed in myself." Shekinah held him closer. That's what love means. The night everything changed months into their comedy journey, Sarper scored his biggest opportunity yet, performing at a popular televised comedy showcase. He was nervous, really nervous. There were cameras, lights, producers, pressure, but Shekinah? She was calm, radiant, confident enough for both of them. Before he went on stage, she cupped his face gently. "Remember who you are," she told him. "Remember how hard you've worked. And remember, I'm right there watching you." He took a deep breath, and then he performed like a man who was born for the stage. His jokes landed perfectly, his timing was sharp, his confidence shook the room. When the audience erupted in applause, he instinctively looked at the front row.